Hello everyone. Before we start today's video, if you could all do me a solid and lightly tap the like button, perhaps share the video about and leave a comment. If you are not subscribed, subscribe as well. It would greatly help this channel. Thank you very much. Well, isn't this just fantastic? Captain's log, subjects 221217.1. On the 17th day of Moistmas my whole crew gave to me Thor's saliva, Freya's BO, and Odin's foreskin. Is this supposed to be a spell? If it is, I don't like it. Hello everyone, welcome to the exhibition of stupid people. Today we're going to start with Greggs. Greggs is a, and I'll quote this word, bakery, end the quote, chain in the United Kingdom. They are quite popular with the lowly plebeians and oikeri, who consider that and rustlers' burgers to be actual food. They are fundamentally wrong in this, and they all need to be punished. I recommended bibbing, but apparently that during the month of Merry Meggy Moistmas would be a bad idea. Greggs has hopped onto this more recent bandwagon, one which some banks have started doing as well, where on your name badge, because we need to know what your name is, Customer Service Assistant 1, 2, and 3, we also need to know 1, 2, and 3's pronouns. I think of this as nothing more than an absolute waste of my time. When you're in Greggs, and I've been in there a few times recently to collect stuff for my nieces, when you go in, you can't see the bleeding badges anyway. Why? Because the glass counter, even with my height, is so high up, I can just about see the face of the person serving me. So what's the point of a name badge? Usually there's a queue because, again, the plebeians love their fake food. When E-numbers were phased out, Greggs stepped up to plug the gap. The three options, because there's only three you can have, would include she, her, hers, he, him, his, or they, them, theirs, which can be added to their badges. Greggs have said that the reason they're doing this is that there was a deluge of requests from staff. How exciting. I have to side with some MPs who are mostly conservatives when they say, I think customers are probably more bothered about sausage rolls than they are about gender roles. As ideas go, this one's very much half-baked, and yes, wah wah wah. I should add, as a disclaimer, that this is not mandatory. If you want to do it, you can do it. Other companies that are more notable for including pronoun badges include Virgin Atlantic, who actually give you a separate badge with your pronouns on it, next to your name badge with your occupation. See? I assume behind there somewhere is prefect, and when it says virgin with wings, it's very literal virgin. When Halifax did this, it sparked an exodus of customers removing their savings from the bank. I don't think this will have the same impact for Greggs, because people do really like their sausage rolls. It's helped by the likes of Lad Baby, who for I believe 3 or 4 years in a row did songs about sausage rolls, but with Christmas tunes, which I won't deny, I thought were fantastic, and I was very happy they got to number 1 because I was sick of reality TV completely flooding the market at Christmas. Now in the grand scheme of things, does anyone actually care? No? Why? Because if you're in Greggs long enough to spark up a conversation where pronouns are relevant, you've been in Greggs for far too long. If you're in Greggs for any length of time, it's usually because you're in a queue, because they're understaffed. Additionally, when I'm talking to somebody while they're serving me and there's a massive queue behind me, at no point am I going to go, so what are your pronouns? Oh, you want my money now? Okay, here's my money. When I was last in there, I took my niece to get some lunch, and she wanted some things. I queued up, because we Brits love a good queue. I got what she asked for, and then sodded off after I paid for it. I couldn't even make eye contact with the person serving me because I couldn't see their face, let alone their name badge. By the way, your Belgian buns are shite. Just thought I'd let you know. They're actually shite. Literal. Fecal matter. I was quite irritated. For our next story, we go to Emory University, which for those who don't know is in the state of Georgia in America. Recently, a bunch of nurses got into a bit of trouble. They posted a viral TikTok where they shared what patients do to give them the ick. The ick is a term that's been coined to describe a sudden feeling of repulsion and total turn-off from somebody you've been dating. The nurses had appropriated the term the ick and brought it into the workplace instead. And so instead of them being considered red flags, like violence or infidelity, this is more of a habit or behavior that becomes impossible to ignore. The video in question was posted to the now wiped clean account of Han Hinton, where 4 nurses explained what patients do to tick them off. One stated that while wearing scrubs branded with the university, my ick is when you ask me how much the baby weighs and it's still in your hands. Bit innocuous, but alright. What else have we got? Another said, saying you don't want any pain medication, no epidural, but you are an 8 out of 10 pain. Don't know if that's an ick yet. More resolve. Not all patients are involved in this, sometimes it's the parents. For example, when the dad comes outside and asks for a paternity test right outside the room door. I don't know if these count as the ick. There's certainly some red flags in there. The dad's one, for example. But, not appropriate workplace behavior. Now, I firmly believe if you work within many fields, all of them in fact, except mine, okay? You shouldn't be on social media in the workplace, unless your job is on social media. People that work within the healthcare field are overworked and underpaid, but that does not give you the right to blow off steam while on duty. After much outcry from those in the comments, Emory University, because somebody had it on their badge, was notified of the video, and they put out a statement. We are aware of a TikTok video that included disrespectful and unprofessional comments about maternity patients at Emory University Hospital Midtown. We have investigated the situation and taken appropriate actions with the former employees responsible for the video. The video does not represent our commitment to patient and family-centered care and falls far short of the values and standards we expect every member of our team to hold and demonstrate. At no time should our patients ever feel they are not being treated with care and respect. Every patient at Emory Healthcare deserves to be cared for by a compassionate, experienced team in a comfortable and safe environment. The only part that really needed to be mentioned there was the part where it said former employees. The only thing we don't know at time of recording is if they were fired because of the videos or if they were removed from their posts because of something else. To the idiots in the video, I have some advice for you. It will take you time to regain the respect you have lost from many people, and it is possible some of you will never get to work in the healthcare profession again because of it. While the comments seemed innocuous, it was a level of unprofessionalism that is unbecoming of somebody in your field, and you need to be better. Videos like this doing its rounds can only negatively impact you going forward, and you will struggle to find employment in this sector unless you are willing to show you can be a better person. Patients should come first. Your R&R is never on the job. If you don't like that, I highly recommend you get used to saying the following.
Would you like fries with that, sir?
5 months ago, I made a Halls of Injustice video on Katie Price, the artist formerly known as Jordan, a big boob model with a very big smooth brain. Somebody who actually went from rags to riches and back to rags again, while trying to remain rich. It's quite amusing, really. Now, with her story, things have never been as simple. When she doesn't get her own way, she has a tendency to lash out. This is something I discussed in the Halls of Injustice because it concerned one of her exes. Somebody that she's not meant to be communicating with in any way, shape or form. In fact, keeping that person and that person's current partner out of her mouth would be ideal for Katie Price. But when you go through her criminal record, you notice, oh boy, she's done a lot. How is she not in prison yet? I'm sure it has nothing to do with her gigantic fake boobs and her equally gigantic fake teeth. Katie Price recently, because she still cannot stop mentioning her ex-husband, ended up getting banned from TikTok. The more recent post that got her into trouble was that she featured 2 of her children, ages 8 and 9, in a video. But she also launched an attack on her ex-husband via Instagram. The children 8 and 9, I'm not going to name them, she actually shares with the ex-husband. TikTok has very strict rules about children, in the sense that they have a social media policy and no one under the age of 13 is allowed on it. Granted, many do breach the rules on a regular, I know, roll my eyes, try to resist the urge to point it out, please. Do bury that particular aspect of your own tism self and move on. On Instagram, she made a number of allegations about her ex, which ended up with her getting reported to the police and questioned again for harassment. If she knows she can't get away with doing this, why did she keep doing it and how has she not been arrested yet again? The main accusation that she made against her ex was that he was being abusive. So naturally she was, suspected of stalking. In the case of her ex-husband, he genuinely wants the police to take this further, because for some odd reason, she's still not being prosecuted, yet there is so much evidence against her, and social media is her biggest enemy. My view on it is quite simple. Focus on your OnlyFans, which is what you've been doing, Katie Price that is, because, I'll be honest, you're 44, I doubt you've got too many years left of using that for prime content, but you may as well make the most of it while you have the chance. And if that is your viable source of income, go knucking futs. You are the person who years ago said they were going to actually have, cameras in the room when you gave birth to your first child. I remember that. That's how YouTube family channels are born these days. It should be noted for the sake of intellectual honesty that her ex has also been questioned on suspicion of stalking. So he's hardly innocent, but of course we do believe in innocence until proven guilty here. For both of them, of course. I guess what's fascinating is that Katie Price had around that time started off on holiday with her on-off lover Carl, who, Carl had made claims she cheated on him, along with releasing video recordings of Katie talking about doing coke. He also might have something called a big black book of material that could be damaging to her career, but at this point, does she really have one? This is all idle gossip, isn't it? It's just fascinating to me that they have enough evidence the police surely do at this point, and they don't actually do anything. To finish, I want to talk about the rip-roaringly well-successful and highly credited Harry and Meghan documentary. Reason why is because, as we discussed last week, there are many lies within the trailers alone. But since some of the episodes are now out, we have even more lies. Harry has an accusation. His accusation is that the royal family is doing everything they can to protect William, which does make sense. He is, after all, next in line for the throne. They're going to protect him as much as they can. Harry, not so much. I think they did their civic duty when he dressed up as a Nazi. Oddly enough, it was around that time he started crying about media coverage of his life. I wonder why. Two more notable lies have come out from all of this. The first, an impression given of a lone snapper covertly photographing Harry. Actually, it was a pre-agreed coverage of a visit to Archbishop Desmond Tutu. So it wasn't of Harry, Meghan and Archie, their son. No, it wasn't the media doing their best. The journalists trying their darndest to get closer to them. Another, though, shows cameras around a limo before the trailer cuts to a tearful Meghan. The person in the limo was Donald Trump's ex-lawyer. It had nothing to do with them at all. Don't forget here, they have the final say on the product produced, which means they knew all the footage was wrong, while they're busy mocking how they had to present themselves and behave around the Queen, which rubbed everyone up the wrong way. They are also lying, blatantly lying, to make a point. I won't deny some media outlets like the Daily Mail have made it their mission to absolutely discredit everything they do. You don't need to fill your entire website up with it though to do it. You just need one article debunking all the lies, and there are plenty of them so far. The issue we in the United Kingdom have is more casual audiences aren't going to see the British perspective because it is already skewed. I've mentioned this before. Record numbers are viewing it in America. Over here, we're rolling our eyes and asking that the Sussex title be removed from them, along with the title of Prince from Harry. Because to us, his actions are akin to that of a traitor. Traitors shouldn't be rewarded. And he's taking shots at the very family that paid for his home in Silicon Valley. Or has he forgotten that Charles did that? The royal family at present are refusing to engage in any of this at the moment, and that is the right thing to do. Everything needs to play out, and then a decision needs to be made. So by acting, for example, to remove titles would seem petty. You have to seem above it, which they could argue they are by not engaging. But with absolute certainty, one can say this has effectively destroyed any chance at a reconciliation between Harry and William. Well done, Harry. You do for family. Granted, you have made a new family for yourself, but it's interesting that what it really took for you to turn your back on them was one person and one whisper in your ear.